Hello Sugarplums, welcome back to my channel. Guys, in today's DIYs, I'm going to be showing you how to grow your own cluster crystal at home for your resin projects. It's super easy to make and you only need 2 ingredients in only 3 steps. Seriously, you can do so much, like any shape you want, any color you want. Beautiful crystal, and trust me, if you're making like a geode project, you can do a beautiful geode rock using barely anything, guys. 2 ingredients, like I said, 3 step. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the step to do, and you can go ahead and go crazy and make your own cluster crystal, guys. Everything that I use, I'm gonna leave in the description links for you below, and basically it's gonna be one thing that you will need to buy, but technically, guys, it's only 2 ingredients and the other ingredient is completely free. You can find it anywhere. You drink it every day. It's water, like you guessed it. Now guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into the tutorial and show you how I make this beautiful cluster crystal. Yes, 2 ingredients that you're gonna need. First one is gonna be borax, and this you can find anywhere, guys, but I'll leave a link for you on the one that I bought on Amazon. It come with a pack of 4 and it was $17, so I still have a lot left at home. And you're gonna need some food coloring if you want, but I'm using some leftover marker, the inside part of the marker, and when I made my alcohol ink earlier last month or so, I'm using this. So you can use like marker if you don't have food coloring. You're gonna need some jars. I highly suggest that you use some crystal jars because this will help keeping the water a lot more hot and warm, and that will help a lot with your the growth of your crystal. Now I'm showing you all the stuff that I'm using, guys. Now I see a lot of people use pipe cleaners, but it doesn't mean that pipe cleaners is the only thing that you can use. As you can see, I'm using a lot of different type of material to have my crystal plug into and grow into. Now I'm also gonna be using this pipe cleaner to show you you can use anything. Basically the crystal will cling into any thing that you put in your jar, as long as you mix the solution the right way. Now when you getting your material to have your crystal grow into, make sure you hang it in a way that it's not gonna touch the sides of your jar or the bottom, because once your crystal start to grow, it will attach itself if it's touching any part of your jar, so it's gonna be a mess for you to remove. You might end up breaking it. Now I'm showing you, now this is a piece of round pine wood. I bought those from a company named Artistro, and I'll leave the link for you. I believe the pack came with 25, but you can order 50. But anyway, I'll leave the link for everything that I use, guys. Now you're gonna need boiling hot water with your borax. Now this is the only 2 ingredient: boiling hot water and the borax. Now this part, guys, if you are not an adult, please don't do this on yourself. Ask an adult to help you do this part, and then you can proceed on doing the other part, because you can burn yourself really hard with boiling hot water. So this is my little tip and my little advice, so please consider it if you're not an adult. Now how much borax you're gonna need to put in your water? There is not really a set measurement, because it just depends on how much water you have, and the borax, you have to keep adding it until the water become cloudy, and then you see the borax gathering. The powder itself is gonna gather at the bottom of your jar or your container. Now this is when you know that that's enough. You don't need to add more powder because the powder is not dissolving. Now I'm using this wood. Now remember, wood's gonna float, so To have your crystal clinging to it, make sure you submerge the wood first into the water, and then make sure that you let it float on top, and then make sure it's not touching the side. Now once the crystals start clinging to it and the wood become heavy enough, it will sink down. So if you want both sides of the wood to have like big crystal on top of them, you can flip it over, or you can wait for the crystal to for the water for the crystal to cling to the wood, and the wood will sink down. I'll show you that later on when I start removing it. Now this one I did without any color on it, and then I'm gonna be showing you how to add color, which is basically you're gonna repeat the same step. Add your boiling water, add your borax until the borax doesn't dissolve anymore, and then you're gonna add either your food coloring or your marker or your alcohol. And yes, you can add alcohol and anything that's gonna give the water color. The crystal will absorb that color. So I'm just using the pieces of the markers that I had before. Stir them until the water get the color, and then I'll remove the low plastic pieces. That's it, and put my stuff in it. And as you can see, guys, I use so many things. I even use like a piece of screen door, the low screen that you have to make like windows and doors. I even use one. I just cut it in a shape that I want, and that's it. And your crystal gonna grow into it. Now I let my crystal sit for 2 days. Now in between days, if you're gonna let your crystal sit, because the more it sit, the bigger it will get. Now I will suggest that you remove your crystal like every 1 day, and then take the water in the jar, heat it up in the microwave until all the crystal that is formed on the inside is completely melted. Yes, it will melt, guys, because the borax will melt if you put it into the heat while it's still there. So once it's completely melted, you just add a little bit more borax into it, and then take your crystal that was forming, put it in the water, cover it again, and then your crystal will keep growing bigger and bigger. Now I did mine only for 2 days, just because if we keep growing, what will happen is that my crystal will probably get stuck, because my jars are not that big. They're like pretty shallow, and the mouth is not that big, so I'll probably end up not being able to remove them. So I left them for 2 days. Now this is the piece of screen that I put, guys. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely love this one. Super heavy. It came out super heavy. I love the black color of the crystal. Like when you find like those black rocks that have like the crystal, those geode rocks, beautiful. I'm telling you guys, you can make some beautiful geode with them. If you use a pipe cleaner or anything that have like a round shape like a rock, you can use that. Now you can see the piece of wood sink, because the crystal on this side is super heavy. Now this side still have crystal, but they are tiny crystal, and I love the way it looks, so I left it like this. I didn't want both of them to have like the big crystal, because this one I'm gonna be making a coaster with it. So make sure you are subscribe and have your notification bell on, so you don't miss out when I make when I use those crystals that I just made. And this is a piece of rock, and I love the way it came out, because it looks so organic, because you still can see the rock, some part of the rock showing at in some places. Beautiful. Now this one, it's actually pure crystal. What happened is that I made a water and let it sit for a couple of hours. And after a couple of hours, I used a spoon to kind of very gently remove the crystal that was forming at the bottom of the jar, and then I put a piece of thread in it, and then I let them grow. And those I made came out so pretty. Now this one in particular, it came out looking a weird looking crystal, but it is so beautiful. Absolutely love it. And those are just pieces of thread. Yes, pieces of thread. The pink thread that you see, I just let it sit in the water, and the crystal gather into it, and that's it. This one also is just pure crystal, because I did the same thing. Let the water sit, remove the crystal that was at the bottom, and then I just put a piece of thread into it. Now my tip for you guys is that when you're doing yours, make sure you use like a fishing line tape, or like something that is like super thin. That way you don't have like a big piece of yarn or like thread showing through. But anyway, that's my tip for you. I didn't have any fishing line, so I used whatever I had. Now you're gonna let it dry, guys. Let your crystal completely dry for at least a day. And be careful when you first remove them because they're still fragile, so they can break easily, but let them dry and they will become harder. Now if you're gonna use your crystal just as display, just coat them with like a clear coat of clear varnish, nail varnish, and then let them dry, and that's it. You have a beautiful crystal. Now those are just regular crystal. I just left them like this after they dry. I didn't put any varnish on them because I will be using mine in epoxy to make some beautiful project. So make sure again, guys, you have your notification bell on, and if you're new, you're not subscribed yet, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Okay, I'm showing you close-up of all the one that I use. This one was a polish jar, a polish, a clear stone that I had, and the stone itself was blue, but because I had green marker ink on the water, now it became green, and they are super heavy, guys. Beautiful. I'm showing you all the different that I made. Now this is the piece of screen that I put. Can you believe this is like a piece of screen, a window screen, and it got her some beautiful crystal, big crystal, and I could have left it to be a lot bigger, but it will not come out of the jar if I left it more. So this is something that to keep in mind. If you want your crystal to grow super big, make sure your jar is super big, super deep, and have the mouth of it is large enough to be removed. Now this is the crystal that I made with the pipe cleaner. Now I can see why a lot of people use pipe cleaner, because you can shape it the way you want. It came out beautiful, and I love the subtle color that the alcohol and give them. Now this crystal was the one that I removed from the bottom of the jar. It's pure crystal, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the piece of thread that going across it, so that way it will be used as a geode rock, because when you cut open a geode rock, you have this beautiful crystal in it, and it's deep enough. You have like this dipping in it. I think it's beautiful, guys. So it's super easy to make your crystal at home, guys, and again, you only need borax and hot water. So I'm gonna leave the link for whatever you want, guys. If you want to use the borax, you can either buy it at at your local shop, Walmart, any place like Home Depot, any place that sell like detergent stuff, you will find it. Or you can use my link and buy the 4-pack on Amazon for $17. It's up to you. But again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next video, guys. I will see you soon. I love you so much, and don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with your friend and family. And if you are a new returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching my video. I love you so much. I'll see you soon, guys, and you know the drill. As always, be blessed and stay blessed. Bye, guys. Mwah.